Hello, everyone. I'm Gindlenute, also known as Arch Innocent, and I am hosting day 2 of our League of Legends tournament. This is a tournament hosted on one of the ARAM maps, Howling Abyss being one of them, and we are using Tournament Draft in order to select our champions. Both teams will have access to pick ban, just like you would in Ranked Solo Duo, except this time we're playing on the one lane map. Yesterday, we had our inaugural match of the tournament between the Frog Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and the National Pike Service, NPS. Today, with the FBI emerging victorious, they will face off against the CDC, the Centers for Drug Control. In this updated bracket, the FBI have advanced. They will face off against CDC. The winner of this matchup will go straight to the finals, and the loser will have one more shot to make it to finals by playing in a losers bracket match with the National Pike Service. For today's match, we have these two rosters. For the Froggies, they have Gray Mercury, Drunk Cat, Victor TFT, Genetic Ivy, and Witchy Kirby, all of whom are from yesterday's match. Meanwhile, in the CDC corner, we have Best Asian Will, Lune, Kindled Rainbows, Chino, and Moonwoven Prince. I'm now going to do side selection. I'm going to flip a coin as is tradition, and heads, FBI get to pick their first side. Tails, CDC get to pick their first side, and then afterwards we will switch the sides of the map regardless. Heads or tails? Who will it be? Oh, I got heads. I'll let the Froggies know that they've won side selection. Once side selection is decided, I'll invite all the players into this lobby. They would like to go with blue side. I'll invite all the players into our lobby. And the players should be able to handle the rest. From what I've heard, both teams have been hard at work planning out their drafts. Pick ban is very important in this type of game mode. And if you are familiar with playing ARAMs, I'm sure you know that team comp is extremely important. Some champion classes seem very powerful in this game mode, specifically caster mages, long range casters like Lux or Vel'Koz. Pretty strong. Once the Froggies get all 10 players, I will ask for a ready check. And once I see 10 players type R or ready in the chat, I will give them the A-OK. I'm excited to see how the draft unfolds. And I just mentioned that draft is a massive part of ARAM, especially given the draft prep that both teams have done. We're in the second day of the tournament now, and the Froggies have shown their hands in to some degree as of their match yesterday. They defeated the Pike Service 2-0. And so the FBI performed pretty well. I commend their performance during the winners interview that was hosted yesterday. I spoke with the players, and I heard that they are very confident and hopeful in their draft prep. So in addition to draft, I feel that player synergy, the psychology between players and how well they work together as a unit, I feel that that is maybe even more important than individual skill in this type of game mode. There are no wards you can really place unless you play fiddlesticks and use as effigies. There are not really many flank angles. There's no way to split push. You just team fight. And so champions that excel in this uniquely team fight driven environment will be the ones that come out on top. The readies are coming in. All right, I'll count them up. First set of bans. I'm excited. Who will we get? FBI will be up first. They've hovered the Scion, take away a tank pick, and Scion gets removed. That champion, I feel, is really strong in ARAM. Very strong in Summoner's Rift as well. Sona gets removed. First ban. In yesterday's match, for those who may not have watched round one, Sona was picked both games by the Froggies, and of course they won both matches, but I feel the Sona was a huge part of it as her team-wide sustain and buffs were simply too much to handle, and her healing and shielding, I feel, negated a lot of the poke that the Pike Service were dishing out. And so, they certainly could do damage, but the Pike Service never made that damage stick. On. We have a Rel ban. Rel was another champion that got picked twice yesterday. The Froggies ran back their the core of their team comp for both matches. Soraka gets taken away. It's an interesting ban that Soraka is removed because I don't know if it's a target ban for the Frogs, but they have removed it in every match so far, I believe. Now Victor gets hovered. When you're playing against someone named Victor TFT, that does raise some eyebrows. And I feel it is an effective way to telegraph your champion pool. Although maybe telegraphing it isn't the best idea. In any case, the champions, the first champions will now be picked as we finish the first round of bans. FBI are deliberating and wondering they could go with a carry or a frontliner. Could go with another enchanter. Seraphine gets locked in. Seraphine and Sona have similar aesthetics and similar kits, but I feel that Seraphine is more damage, less support, and Sona is more support, less damage, as their two playstyles eventually diverge once you get into team fights. Seraphine has a super powerful ultimate spell, and she's got more damage, but she doesn't have the healing or the speed boosting of Sona. Karma gets locked in. So the CDC have chosen Karma. Since they're red side, they pick the first duo of Champ Select, and Gragas gets hovered. Alright, 2 magic damage champions. Gragas can go tank, or it can go full burst. The exact build might vary as we get deeper into Champion Select, because we only have 3 people picked so far. Karma, Gragas. Both those champs are pretty old as well, while Seraphine, I believe, was released in 2020. Ornn gets chosen, a tank. Ornn's ultimate spell has super long range, and in a map like ARAM, it's a little hard to dodge it. What else? What else? Callista. Callista Ornn. Callista's Fate's Call, her ultimate spell, can grab Ornn out of danger and then toss him into the enemy team. And this is coupled with the multi-person knockups that Ornn already has access to. The center's hovering Misfortune right now as a marksman. Because of her champion class, she can deal consistent ranged physical damage. And now we get to the second round of bans. Looking at both teams, they really could go for any niches available. This isn't Summoner's Rift, so we don't have set roles for people. We're looking for what makes a good ARAM comp. And so it's hard to just look at the enemy team and say, oh, well, they're missing top lane or they're missing mid lane. They're missing 2 champions, which could be anything. And so I feel that tournament draft in this environment is unique. Ashe gets taken away. Ashe was picked both games yesterday, one by the Frogs, the other by the Pike Service. With Ashe taken away, that is one less carry and high utility champion removed. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow can catch and stun people for a very long time at its maximum stun duration. As the arrow stun duration goes up, the farther it travels before it hits its target. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow can stun a target for 3.5 seconds. Now we'll get our final bans. Mundo just got swiped away. And now, Centers for Drake Control, thinking about their last ban for for game 1 of this series. Akali gets taken away. No assassin for you. So, what will the Frogs ban? And what will the Frogs pick after this? Kindred gets hovered, and they're taken away. Lamb and Wolf will not be present in this game. Centers for Drake Control, thinking of their next pick. Because they're red side, they have the last pick of the entire match. Veigar gets locked in. I'm seeing potential for a lot of AoE right now, specifically the Veigar-Gragas combo plus Misfortune. Veigar can drop down that little cage, can trap maybe all 5 enemy champions inside it. Gragas can throw the explosive cast to kick people into the walls of the cage, and Misfortune can go guns blazing with the bullet time and shoot down anyone that's caught inside the cage. It's a fun strategy if they're able to pull it off. Meanwhile, Lux, Jhin, the final picks for the Frogs. We're seeing a lot of sniper-type champions for the FBI. Seraphine, Lux, Jhin, all with spells that can hit targets from over a screen away. And Yone gets locked in for the centers. There will be no spectator delay, and so once this countdown for prepare your loadout finishes, we will head straight into the game. I'm interested in how the early game will be played out. If you remember from yesterday, FBI turtled underneath their first turret for pretty much the entire early game, while the Pike service threw as many skill shots and other damaging spells at their targets. Ultimately, not too many kills to be had in the early game, but the Frogs seemed coordinated and confident enough to spring back and make up for the lag in kills. We have a different set of players today as the CDC have stepped in, and maybe we'll see the early game play out differently. On the FBI's team, Callista's only champ without a skin. On the CDC team, Vagar is the only person without a skin. For the longest time, I pronounced Vagar's name as Vigar because it looks kind of like a German name. EI is pronounced like I in German, but it's pronounced Vagar, I believe. I don't play too much Vagar myself, but he might have a voice line or two where he refers to himself in the third person. For all these other champions, play too much Callista. Callista has felt tricky for me to play, and we're in. Blue side team is FBI, red side team is CDC. And they've landed onto the Butcher's Bridge, so they'll have access to the Earth Cannon in order to get to lane. And I like looking at people's first purchases. Some people will go with Guardian's items. Warren here is going with plated steel caps. You have all these daggers. And, of course, in ARAM, the only way to purchase items is to either be Mr. Orn or to die and head back to base. There's no way to recall in ARAM, and even if you were to walk from lane to fountain, you will not be able to purchase anything. The Froggies right now sitting underneath their turret. I think we've seen this playbook a couple times already, while the CDC cover the middle of the map, and the flower is going to be consumed entirely by the CDC. Oh, a lot of damage from the Mantra Q. I respect it. Chino goes in and flashes out with Gragas. Witchy Kirby gets super low and flashes out. Yone looks for the engage as well. Genetic Ivy gunned down and shot up a bit by the Misfortune. And now the teams disengage. Just a few seconds into the match, the minions crash, and immediately there's violence. It's already feeling a lot more fast-paced than the first two games we've had this tournament. Looking up next. If you're one to keep track of enemies' spell cooldowns, then whenever a spell goes down, that is an opportunity for the enemy team and less opportunity for the playing team. Chino goes in, dies, gives first blood to Callista, but not before helping Kindred Rainbow claim a kill as the Vagar. Another flower gets plucked and taken away, given over to... And Moonwoven Prince flashes in, blasts Witchy Kirby with the Mantra Q, and an explosion catches the target. So far, a lot of kills, even though the same playbook of sit under turret is being done here. We don't have the same sustain as we saw before. Moonwoven Prince just dies there, giving the kill over to Miss Callista, while Witchy Kirby takes a lot of damage, and Best Asian Will snaps back with the Fate Unsealed. With the Fate Sealed, I believe is the name of Yone's E-spell. Let us check. Soul Unbound! I was completely wrong. But I do try to remember these champion spell names. There are just so many. Jin Traps, offering some level of vision control. Oh, another powerful blast from the Karma. That is the one skill shot she has, and if this is an AP Karma, then that will be her strongest spell as well. She can also use the W tether in order to do some damage, but it's mainly there to catch people or stop advances. Another powerful blast. Karma's just launching some big missiles over here, and an engage occurs underneath the FBI turret, with Best Agent Will paying the price as Victor TFT goes on a killing spree against the CDC. So all the action is concentrated in this corner of the map. From maybe this health relic right here to where this wooden plank is on the ground. Alright. Some items have come in. Karma has finished Moonstone Renewer. This is an Enchanter Karma item. Enchanters are pretty strong in as the game goes on. If you're familiar, their shielding gets really intense as the shield strength gets stronger and their cooldowns get shorter. Oh, Victor TFT caught by the explosive cast and the Yone ult, who just snaps back, flies backwards 2 screens away, and before you know it, the FBI can't catch someone 2 zip codes away. Both teams have members, all of whom are at level 6 now, and so we might witness some more ultimate spells get thrown out, especially from the Froggies, who haven't shown much of their hands so far, but I'm seeing a Seraphine ult, a Call of the Forge God from Ornn. There's potential for a lot of damage to be done here. Right now, CDC continue holding control of the middle of the map, and Jhin, Ornn, Misfortune, Callista all throw out their ultimate spells, with Ornn falling in all that. Not a very bloody fight, but one that I feel is consequential, as now a lot of R buttons are no longer at the possession of their owners. So, Best Agent Will, we're going to grab the flower, and maybe Kindled Rainbows would like to, you know, poke that with Vhagar's little space magic or whatever he uses. But explosive cast comes out, and Victor TFT takes some damage on the Callista. Big shielding comes out, and a heal from Seraphine W. And Woven Prince flashes out. Oh, Mr. Ornn is trapped inside the cage, but the cage eventually disappears. Best Agent Will snaps in and claims a kill onto Lux, while Ornn continues the fight, ready to seize the Karma, and eventually takes the last hit as well. Now it is a 2v3 in favor of the Froggies. They have 2 ADCs and a tank, while over here we have an AP Gragas building Rod of Ages, and a Misfortune who has yet to die. 3 assists. Now today's June 7th. The kills right now are 6-7. Happy June 7th, everyone. The 2 teams still going back at it. There might be another fight coming up real soon, as Karma makes the first blow in that engagement, pulls off, and goes back in for some more action. Explosive cast hits 4 people, but they spread away from the center of the map, so no more engagement there. The Deadly Flourish, maybe to last hit some minions. Ooh, that was a big Karma Q, and the Vhagar cage comes down. The Primordial Burst just almost last hits it, and Lune on the Misfortune claims the kill with the bullet time. And now the final sparks hits some caster minions. Victor TFT gets so low, and he's likely the target of assassination by Best Agent Will's Yone, who kills the Lux and who kills the Seraphine, doesn't kill the Victor. Lux walks away safely. Genetic Ivy, pretty tanky, having rushed the Canic Rukern against the heavy magic damage that is apparent on the now 9-kill CDC roster. And this is a pretty intense game, because if you're able to gradually chip away at this turret like this, then once there's an opportunity and you're able to deal even more damage, you might blow down that turret before anyone can respawn. But the FBI are clearly not out of the clearly not out of the park yet. Genetic Ivy takes some damage, but I'm sure Ornn is happy to take some instead of the carries. Takes 3 spells in total and loses about a third of his health from that trade. And now some shielding comes out, and the Ornn can get some respite from the big green circle. The curtain call comes out, but now Genetic Ivy's in danger as he's taking a lot of damage from Ornn. Callista is also taking some damage, but now the cooldowns are down. The Seraphine Encore doesn't smack anyone, and no one gets charmed. Now we have a lot of low health bars on both sides, while one side's got the flowers, and one side's got more health relics up. Deadly Flourish doesn't snipe anyone, and Jhin does not end up claiming any damage. Now Cage comes out and the Seraphine gets stunned. Fate's Call rescues Seraphine, but Primordial Burst blows up the Ornn and the Forge God falls. Gragas goes in and doesn't get a kill, but does some damage at least. Kindled Rainbows takes damage, while Misfortune's Bullet Time forces at least one flash to fall. Callista shows that her kiting and damage is nothing to sneeze at, and Lux takes damage, but Yone's ultimate kills the Callista. No more jumping for you, and Ornn comes in hoping to clean up. The flower is about to spawn, and Ornn does get the recast of the snowball in and belly slams that Yone to the ground. Looking at people's items now, Yone's got the Berserker's Greaves and the Blade of the Ruined King, while Veigar's got a Ludens and two needlessly large rods, possibly looking to rush that Rabadon's death cap as early as possible. Misfortune yet to die, Karma with her Staff of Flowing Water, and Gragas now building Lichbane or Dusk and Dawn. I'm thinking the latter. Seraphine with two Enchanter items, Diadem of Songs, and Echoes of Helia. Yone catches three people with the Q3, while the explosive cast hits 4. Genetic Ivy possibly to fall, but survives and walks it off. Seeking medical attention at the new health relic, and all 5 members of FBI recover with no possibly permanent injuries. Yone goes in, but Q3 doesn't hit anyone. The cage goes in and traps Grey Mercury, who has to flash out of the cage. Curtain call, possibly to threaten, but Chino absorbs that last bullet with Gragas' tankiness, having built the Rod of Ages. Rod of Ages is now stacking, and currently at 2 stacks now as it charges faster. Gragas goes in, possibly looking for some more damage. 4 people get charmed, and now Call of the Forge God is likely to do some massive damage. Shutdown goes on to the Misfortune. Yone gets a double kill in the meantime. I'd have to rewind to watch what was going on. Gragas does a belly slam flash into the target and kills Seraphine to try and make it more even. It is now a 3-for-1. Lots of damage. Double kill goes on to double kill for the Gragas as Chino picks up a second kill by taking the Lux's life. Landing a snowball, he's looking for a third, and now he's on a killing spree, taking that last one by recasting the snowball, but he's likely not long for this world as the explosive cast does throw Callista out of the way, and now Chino enjoys safety. Grabs 1 charge of the flower, but for the first time this game, the frogs are able to claim 1 charge of the flower, or 2 charges. Veigar's cage lands and deals about 40% of the Seraphine's health. A lot of bursts there, and right now we're seeing a very different video game than what we saw in both of yesterday's games, as there's a lot of action, a lot of poke, a lot of turret dives at the behest of the CDC. And I'm very happy to witness games like these where we have 33 kills at 12 minutes as opposed to 5 kills. We get more of the ordinary, the Karma Mantra Q poke. Given Seraphine's sustain, it is hard to make some of that poke last, but I don't know if it's the same degree of peel. Genetic Ivy caught, maybe? Oh, Kindled Rainbow definitely caught there and has to flash out to get to safety. Are they worried about ult engages? Well, the FBI are ready to rear their special toys, because almost all 5 of their ult buttons are ready right now. Both teams here. The Fate Sealed is Yone's ultimate spell, and it is available. Same with 4 out of 5 of the CDC's ultimates. Now, Ivy, Victor, Drunk Cat, Grey Mercury, Witch, Kirby. possibly waiting for the perfect moment to strike, because we saw just a few minutes ago how deadly their wombo combo can be, and had the Ornn gotten the headbutt onto his Ram, maybe it would have been even more of a disaster for the Centers for Drake Control. And now the first ultimate spell comes out. Jin throws out Fate Unsealed. Q3 lands onto 3 people. Exhaust lands though, and the bullet time comes out. Ooh, Callista is doing a whole lot of damage, and she's not afraid of an ADC, especially not an explosive cast that almost barely misses her. And the FBI march as 5 without any losses in that whole team fight. They're missing most of their R buttons, but importantly, the Fate's Call was not burned in that whole situation. The Veigar cage comes out, and Ivy gets a little stuck here, but Gragas, Shino the Machino, goes on a rampage as he picks up another kill for himself. The Primordial Burst doesn't do a whole lot to Ornn, who is now shining purple, thanks to the Jack Show that he has either purchased or forged for himself. Lux Laser, when shot out, wipes out pretty much the entire wave, and so there's no turret trade here just yet. Pretty exciting right now. Miss Fortune, having died once, has got 1.5 items, Bloodthirster and components. Ooh, Chino goes way deep and kills 2 people, creating an opening for maybe the FBI to no longer be able to defend this turret. Oh, the turret is actually successfully protected here as the wave, the minions all die, and now Gragas has actually finished Lichbane. I was wrong about the call out, it was not Dusk and Dawn, although I personally wouldn't build that on him. Q3 Lance, Ornn deterring with the Fire Breath. And now this turret is likely to die as blue turret explodes before Miss Fortune's auto attack. As we get some more fighting here, there's just non-stop fighting. And I feel both teams are looking for their opportunity. Best Asian Will goes in with the Yone E, but doesn't hit anyone and then flashes afterwards. Oh, goes way deep here. The Gragas. Oh, 2 people get charged by the Encore, and 2 of the same people get hit by Call of the Forge God. Kindled Rainbows falls, and now we have a 3v4 situation in favor of the CDC now. That shield was really big. I think that was a mix of the flower and the Karma shielding. Most likely. Ornn's now building some Ornn upgrades, which don't have any fancy names anymore, but now Infinity Edge has gotten a little boost, a little tune-up for Mr. Jin. And now those critical hits are surely going to deal some serious damage, as this item gives 103 attack damage. As of this season, well, as of several seasons ago, mythical items don't exist, and Ornn can upgrade any legendary item now. It gives you exactly 1,000 gold in bonus stats. Yone gets caught and in danger. The Karma Mantra Shield comes out, and Gragas goes in. Yone also goes in. The Callista is left-clicking frantically as Chino slays the Callista. Now without one of their ADCs, what will the FBI do here? They're still looking to scrap. They still are aware that the Yone has escaped, but just barely, and maybe one more bullet from Jim is enough to take him out. But maybe not with the support of this plant. The wave is about to fall here. Muvo and Prince going in for some more poke, but possibly to execute as well. Great Mercury claims the kill onto the Karma. And now we are seeing more items being built. Best Agent Will pretty low and dies in that engage. Gragas interrupts the Ornn tackle as well and prevents him from dashing forward. Ornn flashes forwards. Gragas belly slams forward. Veigar Cage stops 2 people in their tracks, but it looks like the FBI will claim victory in this little skirmish as they kill 2, and possibly even a 3rd as the Call of the Forge God comes out, and the snowball ensures that Miss Fortune cannot avoid the ult's charge, giving an ace over to the Froggies and possibly a turret as well, as 2 people are up in order to defend this turret, and the wave is pretty much dead, but the turret falls regardless. The Encore doesn't hit anyone, but now Callista is on a mad rampage, jumping forward and jumping back, and The FBI are the first team this series to crack an inhibitor, and now both teams must be very careful on how the situation will play out, as both teams, I feel, are scaling pretty well. We're getting level 15s and 17s, and we're getting 2 items, 3 items. Vagar's got Rabadon's death cap now, and he is rocking around 719 AP. You don't usually get that much AP on other mages unless you are close to full build and then, or unless you are full build and then some. But Vagar here, 2.5 items, thanks to his infinite stacking AP passive, is doing a whole lot of damage. Person with most kills in this lobby is Callista. She has been one of the main carries for the Froggies, and Victor TFT played very well yesterday, playing both Victor and Callista. Callista was played yesterday as well, so this is not a brand new pick. Wave clear will now be one of the central issues for the CDC to solve this game, but can they investigate this outbreak before it crushes them? Moonwoven Prance looking to dance around with the Ornn as 2 people get charmed by the Encore and 3 people get tossed around. Maybe there's some anti-synergy there, but the Callista dies, so maybe the synergy was there. Double kill goes over to Chino. Maybe triple kill as well as Grey Mercury standing right next to the Gragas. Misfortunes shooting down the Ornn, who has turned purple, and Best Asian Will's doing his best to slice him apart. Quadra kill goes to the Gragas, who is off screen, but maybe it's not a pentakill as Genetic Ivy is still alive as 2 ADCs, 1 range, 1 melee, auto him, and Ace goes over to the CDC as they have conquered the threat and are looking to shove against this super minion wave to possibly even up the turret score. And at the same time, the Froggies are most likely planning their comeback as we speak, as they open up with a curtain call, and Callista eyes the big man Gragas, who is stepping a little far up. Gragas throws the explosive cast. Seraphine drops 2 droplets of her Q and doesn't smack anyone. We're seeing 4 items on Callista. She has an upgraded Rage Blade for extra stats, and because the Ornn is level 17, this ensures that, I believe, Lux is the only person who does not have an upgraded item at this point, but Ornn is happy to do that upgrade, and the Death Cap is the item that gets boosted up 180 ability power before you factor in its passive, so that is a strong Luxana Crown Guard we have on the Butcher's Bridge. This is a pretty intense match. We're 20 minutes in. 20 minutes is a little long for an ARAM. We see a big catch. Drunk Cat gets caught, and 1 person gets charmed by the Encore. Kindled Rainbows claims the kill onto Jin, as the bullet time doesn't hit anyone. The Froggies walk back a little bit, but I believe they're aware they might still be able to fight. Although with 2 powerful Wombo Combo ultimates down, called the Forge God and Encore, they are not looking for another engage, maybe at this moment. While the Vagar still has the Primordial Burst, and Best Asian Will is looking to continue the team fight, as Chino also agrees, but gets hard chunked down there, and the Lux Laser nearly kills Kindled Rainbows as the Storm Surge tried to finish the job, but the shielding was just too much from Barrier plus Karma E. Now, looking like the odds have turned for the FBI in their favor, as curtain call comes out, likely to try and snipe successfully the Vagar. Ornn goes in and lands multiple knockups, and Callista is looking to charge in even more. Moonwoven Prince sure to fall here as the slows land, and doesn't quite fall, but the FBI are grouped as 5, and this is looking dire for the CDC as their Enchanter support gets caught and shot by Callista. And now their last waves are sure to fall. The charm gets nullified by the Edge of Night, but this turret is likely to die, and now the FBI are looking to close out Game 1 of this series with respawns taking too long, and Callista lands the final blow and secures a Game 1 victory for her team. congratulations, FBI, for taking Game 1 of this series. Now, after a short break, we will add all the players back to the lobby, and we will switch around side selection. And I am back. I'll get in contact with players now and see who is ready for Game 2 of this exciting series. I do prefer series with lots of action, and I prefer when both teams can use their team comps to their fullest, with things like wombo combos and dives successfully executed, and playing around spacing and having the correct team fight tempo or rhythm or however you would describe it. Those are my favorite games to play and watch. The soundtrack you will hear in this stream is courtesy of Riot Games. These are all soundtracks officially made by Riot and uploaded to their content creators safe Spotify playlist. There are many more tracks created by Riot that content creators can use, but these are the ones selected for this stream. Now I will get in touch with the two teams and I will see who is ready. There's a concern that at least I've personally noticed where if there is a 3-minute delay, then the client, the spectator client, will briefly close out the window before exactly 3 minutes before the game ends. I don't believe there is a way to check. I'll ask the players if they're ready. Waiting for all 10 to say yes. So far, I'm getting 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 is definitely majority, but it's not 100%. And we're looking for a perfect score on this assignment. What will happen in this next game? FBI lead the series 1-0, and as it's a best of 3, they only have to win one more in order to win it all. However, CDC will not count them out. They could secure Game 2 and bring us to a Game 3 series, which will be the first of its kind in the tournament. And I always love casting those more hotly contested series where both teams are fairly close in skill level. I want to know. Okay, still the same 8s. Simply waiting on all players to get ready now. And for everyone watching this stream, I would like to thank you personally for tuning into this event. I have a lot of fun hosting these types of events, and I feel that this will be my last tournament as well. Looks like all 10 are ready. Maybe we'll get a different map this time around. It's true that all 3 games we've had Butcher's Bridge, the one with the Earth Cannon. Rel banned away. CDC don't want to play against a champion that was picked both times by the Froggies in their round 1 match. What will the Froggies do here? They could do a similar set of round 1 bans. Scion taken away as well. Will we get some more repeat bans? Will it be Victor gets taken away? Take Victor away from the person with the word Victor in their name. Can't ban TFT though, but you can ban Victor. Tryndamere taken away as well. A crit melee champion whose ultimate spell prevents them from dying, but doesn't prevent them from getting stunned. Ashe hovered. Will the Ashe get removed from our lobby? Ashe does get banned. 3 bans, all highly pertinent to their opponent, as the FBI picked those exact champions yesterday. Sona gets banned. No Sona for either team. Possible the CDC were considering locking in Sona, given her strength on the ARAM map. And now that we have blue side pick, what will the CDC lock in? Were they considering Gragas first pick? Gragas performed very well last game. Chino played that champion. And I gotta say, those explosive casts were pretty effective. And the only major issue, maybe, was the explosive cast that knocked targets out of the Misfortune ultimate. But the others were pretty good. Lux gets picked again. I hope we don't get the same draft as last time, just with the nameplates on opposite sides of the map. That would be a little anticlimactic, and we've already seen how that exact comp plays out one time. Another time might be Seraphine gets picked. Lux Seraphine is a legitimate bot lane in Summoner's Rift, and it's pretty strong. Now, Seraphine as an AP carry has consistently been strong across different patches. I don't personally play Seraphine AP carry. If I do, on the odd chance, lock her in, then might be in support role. Smolder gets picked for the CDC. We're having another infinite scaler. Seems to be a trend between the Pike service and the centers for Drake control. Now, who will the third pick be for the CDC? This will be the last pick. Nami hovered. Will the CDC commit to this Enchanter support? They do. Nami is locked in. In response, how do the FBI respond? In response, how do they respond? When designing roads and creating the signage that drivers have to follow, it's good to be redundant so that people don't miss the memo. Galio gets locked in. Anti-magic damage tank. Galio is a personal favorite of mine, especially in ARAM. FBI now up to bat and ready to kick out any champions they want to ban. On the side of CDC, they might want to pick some carries, so FBI might want to ban some carries. Mundo taken away. Frontliner. Juggernaut with lots of healing. And importantly, Mundo doesn't use any mana. He's also got an anti-CC shield that pops on initial hard CC cast. And Soraka's Silence is one of the spells that can remove Mundo's spell shield. Callista gets banned away. Callista, in the hands of Victor TFT, has performed excellently so far in this tournament, as that pick has won both games it's been featured in. And now Vhagar gets removed. Vhagar, the Yordle Mage, can't stack that phenomenal evil power on the map anymore. Final ban of the set will go over to CDC, and who will they take away? Might take away another carry. They can try and take away an engaged champ, maybe. Jhin gets banned. So, two of these bans seem like responses to Game 1. Jinx gets locked in. When Jinx gets excited, when she activates her passive by getting a takedown on a champion or a turret, she will auto-attack extremely quickly, and she can quickly sweep a team fight once she gets that first takedown. But she has to get that takedown. And who might the CDC pick in this situation? If you guys watching were in this scenario, then what would you lock in? Syndra gets picked. A Burst Mage with great wave control, as Syndra can lift minions with her W and shove them away from her with her E. Now, final pick for CDC will come up very soon. I'm noticing a magic damage heavy team comp here for the CDC. What will their last pick be? Possibly only one frontliner, and Yone gets locked in again. We're running back the Yone Gragas double melee combo. And Xin Zhao gets picked as the 5th and final champion for the Froggies. We have our 10 champions, and this is a fresh set of faces on the map now. And I hope that not only will the map be different, but the style of play can continue being as aggressive and full of action as it's been so far. Game 1 was pretty fun, and being honest, I did enjoy watching Game 1 very much. I loved casting that. And now we're getting ready. 20 seconds until we get back into this game. What will the map be? And how will the two teams play it out? And because of how different the maps are, you can have champions that behave or perform differently. based on layout. And so Nunu, for example, on the Spirit Blossom map is directly countered by people's ability to teleport in those tech gates that are placed in the middle. Here we see our players, tall and proud, and here are their masteries. Everyone's got at least level 4 mastery, which is the prerequisite amount of mastery points that you need to be showcased on in the loading screen. I'd like to pay attention to everyone's first purchases because it often determines how the rest of the game will play out, and we're still on Butcher's Bridge. This tournament might be cursed because 4 games in a row we're still on the same map, and I do believe it is recorded that I selected random map when I chose ARAM. Everyone's picks. We see that Gragas will continue going Rod of Ages. Double bubble at the start of the match. Yone will not have the Soul Unbound for a little bit. 16 seconds left on the cooldown. Across both teams, only 2 players have started with a Guardian's item. Syndra has Guardian's Orb, and Galio has Guardian's Horn. How will these teams play this out? Right now, vibing again with the early shove. Possibly funneling farm into the Smolder. Smolder has to last hits minions or champions with his Q. Or simply poke at champions with his Q in order to get stacks. At 125 stacks, his Q becomes a fanning fireball. It fans after it impacts the first target. And at 225, he gets the famous execute threshold. 2 people hit again with the bubble, but there's no follow-up because it's early game and people are too far apart. Once they get in close quarters, I'm sure they won't be comfortable as the taunt lands onto Yone, and Galio almost secures a kill for his team, but doesn't quite. Yone very low, though, and a health relic behind him is looking very tantalizing. It's free to pick up as well, but has a cooldown of 1 minute 30 seconds. Both teams now idle. And seems CDC waited for minions to crash before picking that up. And both teams here. No action. The rear health relic gets collected. We don't have too much so far. Another great bubble lands. Move Over Prince has been on fire with these bubbles, throwing people airborne. I believe Nami's bubbles can be cleansed from. Another bubble lands, and so they might be the only airborne in the game where you can use an item like Quicksilver Sash, QSS, in order to cleanse out of them. For other airbornes like Yasuo's Tornado or Galio's E or Ult, you cannot do that. In this game, we might see the hero's entrance be paired with Xin Zhao's dash. So be on the lookout for that. Galio positioning pretty far. And Best Agent will attempt some poke, but the Yone does take damage and flies backwards. Slower match this game is. Xin Zhao attempts some more damage. Taunt won't hit anyone as Galio retreats in the meantime. Galio has hit level 6, and so has the Xin Zhao. Crescent Guard can be used in this game, and Xin Zhao ult prevents people outside his circle from damaging him. However, he can still body block projectiles that can be blocked. And now, early on this game, it is the FBI who have taken the shove. They are removed from their backs. The Encore hits 2 people, and the Crescent Guard hits some more as well. Hero's Entrance throws Galio into the middle of two people, and the Yone ult hits multiple people as Xin Zhao nearly dies. He finally falls as Gragas's barrel catches him in the end, and multiple people burn their flashes. Gragas going in for more and slams that barrel down on the ground in order to hit the Jinx. Now, moving on. Witchy Kirby takes a lot of damage and the Lux almost falls, throws out a shield, and eyes the health relic in the back, while CDC look to do the same thing. Genji Rainbow possibly to pick it up, as they're the ones with lowest health and mana. Health relics heal more based on how much health and mana you are missing. So if you are on Death's Door, it will heal more than if you only missed 50 HP. Ooh, Xin Zhao gets chunked as he loses 85-90% of his health. Just about. The items for everyone. First completed out of the game is Xin Zhao's Static Shiv. There's a new AP Xin Zhao build out where he sustains a lot with it. In exchange, his damage is more magical, and that is relevant if you plan to build resistances. Gragas, 2 kills, having both the kills on the CDC. Explosive cast tossed, but the Nami tidal wave sweeps away Xin Zhao and claims that kill. Smolder pings, he's got 57 stacks, so almost halfway there to the first breakpoint. Xin Zhao builds some more AP as Grey Mercury dies, actually, to Chino's Gragas. Supplementary damage there from the Syndra. And now Chino walks forward, ready to soak in this healing relic. The Smolder Mom. Oh, Yone's ult catches 4 people. 1 person manages to catch the entire team as is, and Victor TFT survives, healing up with the Static Shiv, given the bonus AP. Victor almost dies now, and Syndra nearly claims the kill. Can Yone get the damage? Yes, he can, and he dies for it as well before he can successfully activate Demolish onto that FBI turret.